All right, we're back. We're getting started into a new section of the book. Book 3, Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, Light of the Soul. And this part of the book, as is stated in the 15th sutra, says that for the remainder of book 3, we are going to be dealing with the results of meditation. So let's get started right in that area. Through concentrated meditation upon the triple nature of every form comes the revelation of that which has been and of that which will be. The sutra which we are considering sums the preceding ideas, and it is interesting to note how this first great result of meditation takes one right back to the true facts and then divine manifestation and emphasizes the 3 aspects through which every life expresses itself, and every life from an atom of substance all the way up to a solar logos. And these 3 aspects, we can see again here on the right on our chart. We have life, will, love, wisdom, intelligent activity. They're really the constant there, I want to say. So let's see here. The great law of cause and effect and the entire process of evolutionary unfoldment are recognized, and that which is seen to be the result of that which has been. Similarly, that which will later eventuate is recognized to be the working out of causes set in motion in the present, and thus the cycle of development is seen to be one process existing in 3 stages. These 3 stages in the 3 worlds of human unfoldment correspond to the 3 dimensions. As we see, when we just stop right there, we got the physical, astral, and mental, or lower mental here, the mental unit, and then down here, the monastic plane. And students will find it interesting to work out these analogies of the various triplicities, remembering that the 3rd aspect, intelligent substance, which is also can be called intelligent activity, the Holy Ghost or Brahma aspect, corresponds to the past, hence a hint as to the nature of evil. The 2nd aspect, consciousness, or the Christ or Vishnu aspect, relates to the present. And then we have that over here where we're looking at wisdom right here. That's the 2nd aspect, referred to as consciousness. Whilst only the future will reveal the nature of spirit, the highest or father aspect. And then we're looking, that being the will. And to be honest with you, I'm really glad that this just came up, because I had said that this is how I saw it yesterday. And after we had gotten off the video, I said, man, I don't know if that's right. That's just how it seems to come across. And the reason I'm saying this is because that triplicity that we're talking about here, it's always there. And this is something that we can, keep going back to, as above, so below. We're looking at the lower 3 down here, and we're looking at the higher 3 up here. And it holds true. So I'm glad this is there, and I didn't say anything out of line yesterday. So let's keep going. This line of thought through concentrated meditation will become clear, and a sense of proportion and a sense of just values as to the present point in time will grow. consciousness, and we're talking about the presence and consciousness, and the Christ or Vishnu aspect relates to the present. We can call it, and you've heard it called, the presence. We've heard this under many names at this point. Awareness, we've heard awareness by the Vedantists. We've heard the presence by the Vedantists. We've heard, this. It's always there. It's very clear, right? Everybody's talking about the same thing. This is what is. It's the now, right? A recognition also of the relation of all lives to each other will be developed, and the life of the aspirant will be stabilized and adjusted so that past karma will be adjusted and possible future karma negated, and the process of liberation will proceed rapidly. And this is, these are things, and I'm not trying to laugh. This is the things, this is happening subjectively. Right? And I can just say this because it's clear, right? We can say this. These things are happening subjectively in the background. It's clear because the future proves the past. If a process is proceeding with rapidity, inevitably that past karma has been stabilized and adjusted, and future karma negated. And then, it's also, so let's stop there, I guess, kind of full stop there. It's also said that the aspirant, on earth, is taking on karma, transmuting energies, and there's work being done, but not necessarily anything that he had done in an individual karma, apparently. Okay, I'll go to 17. The sound or word that which it denotes, the object, and the embodied spiritual essence or the idea are usually confused in the mind of the perceiver. By concentrated meditation on these three aspects comes an intuitive comprehension of the sound uttered by all forms of life. That is very deep. All right, let's see where this goes. This is one of the most important sutras in the book. Yeah, I mean, it's obvious as soon as we read that, right? And holds the key to the object of the entire meditation process. This is to reveal or to unveil to the perceiver or spiritual man the true nature of the self, the second aspect, and the correspondence to the second aspect in all forms of subhuman life, as well as to put him in rapport with the second aspect in all superhuman forms. Thus, it concerns the subjective side of all manifestation and deals with those forces which in every form constitute the consciousness aspect, which concerns the Christ or Buddhic principle, and which are the direct cause of subjective manifestation. I'm sorry, of objective, I don't know if I said that right or wrong. Let me start again. Are the direct cause of objective manifestation and the revelation of spirit through the medium of form. Now, Christ or Buddhic principle, this is the Buddhic plane. This is also the spiritual triad. So it's one. It's really more or less they're tied together, right? But we'll stick to this fourth plane here for now. This is the Om, the AUM. First the breath, then the word, and all that is appeared. Well, now we're getting down to first principle, the early principles here, right? Like what do you call it? First principle. This is some very intensely deep stuff. Even just to read this is beautiful. Just as long as the great existence, who is the sum total of all forms and of all states of consciousness, continues to sound the cosmic Om, just so long will the objective, tangible solar system persist. The following synonyms in connection with this sutra must be borne in mind if clarity of thought is to be achieved. All right, we have the spiritual essence, the sound or word, and the object. And so in that, this is such great stuff. So we have will, wisdom, and activity. And so we have will, love, intelligent activity, or matter, essentially. Yeah, see, we have matter down here. And what we're looking at is the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Shiva, Vishnu, and Brahma. The pneuma, psyche, and form. Spirit, the soul, and the body. The cosmic Christ here, right, sitting here, the monad, or the one, or the Father, and the vehicle or life of life and of incarnation, this matter aspect. Will here, and here we go. Here's where we're looking at here. So this is a great reference point, and I will be saving this today. I'm trying to save all these synonyms. The eternal will or purpose, which is again at the top of the triangle here. Eternal love, wisdom, right, which sits right here, the second aspect again, and eternal activity and intelligence, right here, or we could say active intelligence, but you could also say matter, the third aspect, the worlds, coming right down into the mind here, right, the Holy Spirit, form. You can't make it up. It's just too beautiful. And having this chart here, always, I'm so glad I'm so glad it was put on us to put this here. It just makes sense. This is DK's teaching. And it's like when we're bouncing it off of this chart, I want to say it does something. It really helps because we're getting a depiction. It's a different perspective along with these words. And we got the pictorial, we got with the visual of it as well. It's just and we know where we're at. We know that we're down here in the three worlds right now. Anyway, we know where we want to go. And then you could also say this is the first, second, and third aspect. And then these are the rays of aspect. The first, second, and third ray are the rays of aspect. And these four are the rays of attribute. These are the aspects. These are the attributes. Okay. In the mind of man, these aspects are confused, and that which is outward and objective is usually recognized as reality. We're reversing that picture right now, is what we're doing. This is the great Maya or illusion and can only be dissipated when the perceiver can distinguish the three great aspects in every form, his own included. And here, if we want to talk about yours included, immediately we can go straight to the number one up here, where we recognize yourself as spirit, soul, and body. And that's the high three of the aspects, right? We don't want to get too goofy there because we still have to deal with down here, and we have these aspects, we have these attributes. I don't want to go, this is what all the books are about. It's all leading up, but this is helping us understand all this the energy, the forces and energy behind all of this. So we're thinking in terms of energy and forces, and this is awesome, because when we have synthesizing energy, we have the attractive force, which is the soul, and then matter, and we have life, the consciousness aspect, and activity, the activity aspect, the one great breath, which is the will, the the outgoing, and then the creation of the worlds. And so this is incredible. And these things are confused, so we're reversing these so we can understand this. And this great Maya can only be dissipated when the perceiver can distinguish the three great aspects in every form, his own included. When the second aspect, the soul, the middle or mediating principle, is known, the nature of the form is also known. And the essential nature of spirit can be inferred. The immediate field of knowledge, however, which the yogi has to master, is that of the second aspect, which is the soul aspect, which is all of these aspects. I mean, if you want, we can look at these synonyms, right? Love, wisdom, the Om, the attractive force. He must arrive at the sound or word which brought every form into manifestation, and which is the result of the breath, the essence or spirit. Must arrive at the sound or word. This is why, we said that, Christ is the word, and then we have the word made flesh. All these things. And then we have, okay, so I'm getting ahead of myself. I should never do this with DK. In the beginning was the word, and the word was with God, and the word was God. All things were made by him. Here in the Christian Bible is the substance of the entire teaching, and in the significance of the three letters of the sacred word AUM, or Om, lies the clue to the entire cosmic process. The meditation process, when duly and correctly carried out, reveals therefore the second or soul aspect and the sound or word, the voice of the silence, can then be heard. Once heard and the work carried steadily forward, the realm of consciousness is revealed, and the yogi is in rapport with the second aspect of his own nature and with the second aspect in every form. This is the basis of the whole science of the soul and leads a man to know his own soul or psyche and the psyche in every form of divine life. It is the foundation for the entire science of psychism, both in its higher and lower aspects. When a man is a lower psychic, he is aware of and responds to the soul aspect of the material forms and the third or Brahma aspect, the body, dominates for every atom of matter as a soul, and the third or Brahma aspect dominates for every atom of matter as a soul. This concerns all that is subhuman. When he responds to the higher correspondence of this, to the reality of which the lower is but the shadow, he is in touch with the Christ consciousness, with the soul of his being, which is one with the soul in all the superhuman kingdoms. Why, this is just such a beautiful sutra, right? I mean, this is really it's answering a ton of questions that I'm sure we've all had. And it's putting them into such clear words that can be so easily understood. In connection with this, two things must be remembered. If he is a lower psychic, he is in touch with the second aspect of the lower man, the astral body, down here, right? So we're talking about the lower aspect of this. If he's a lower psychic, he's in touch with the astral body. The middle principle in the lower man, linking the mental body and the etheric. He is therefore in rapport with all that can be contacted on that plane. If, however, he is a higher psychic, he is in rapport with the second aspect of divine manifestation, the ego or soul, on its own plane, mediating between and linking the monad with the personality, spirit with the body. So is in rapport with the spiritual triad, I assume, at that point. And it's in rapport with the ego, but here sits the ego or soul on its own plane. Mediating and linking the monad, linking above with the below. All right, so that this makes sense. If you've reached this mental permanent atom here, that would certainly be the case, the linking point. All right. And this is what we said is the third initiation, which is really what they also call the first major initiation, and seen as by the masters as the true first initiation, even though we have first and second earlier. This is the big one. It is interesting here to note that a clue to the truth of this can be found in the manifestations of lower psychism, such as are seen in the average mediumistic seance, an ordinary type of spiritualism. Contact with the astral plane is made through that great center, the solar plexus, which links the higher three centers and lower. It accounts also for the fact that flowers are such a feature in materializations at seances, for the vegetable kingdom is the middle kingdom of the three subhuman kingdoms: mineral, vegetable, and animal. So mineral down here, vegetable, astral, animal is monastic. This and up here isn't really until this is where the true human, this is true, the true life begins. You're really animal down here. That's what's being said directly. These are subhuman kingdoms. The explanation as to the prevalence of Indian guides is also found here, for they are the shells and powerful thought forms left by the second of the three strictly human races, Lemurian, Atlantean, and Aryan. They are the shells and powerful thought forms left by the second of the three strictly human races. No Lemurian shells or thought forms are left now, but many Atlantean shells are still to be found preserved through the use of certain forms of Atlantean magic. Enjoy that one, that contemplation. This is huge. There is so much explained here as to what can be seen in this world right now. It's not even funny, but we don't have time for that because we're on a spiritual journey. We're looking up. By concentrated meditation upon the distinction between these aspects, there will eventually come a hearing of the voice of the silence and contact with the man's own second aspect. He will know himself as the Word made flesh and will recognize himself as the Om. Hold on, just give me 1 second. I'm just going to pause this for 1 second. Okay, I just wanted to double check on something before I said this out loud. It's not something that I'm willing to be wrong about, or I didn't want to make this mistake. The AUM can be, we can look at it like alpha, the A, the U, and the M being the M being matter, the M being Makara, being form, and being all the synonyms we discussed earlier. So we have the Akara, AKARA, the Ukara, and the Makara. I just wanted to share that a little bit to see the AUM, and each of these also is it's again the triplicity there. All right, so this is really big stuff that we're looking at, and that may help us contemplate as we're putting this together. And by I mean this is the breath, the word, and the creation. All right, it's just huge. Because we're about to we're recognizing at some point here himself, yourself as the Om. This contemplation is just so huge here. When this is the case, you will then hear the word and other units of the human family. Will awaken to a recognition of the sound as it is emanated by all forms and all the kingdoms of nature. The realm of the soul will stand open to him, and this, when it includes recognition of the sound and all the four kingdoms, will lead him to know himself as master. Soul knowledge and the power to work with the soul of all things in the three worlds is the distinctive mark of the adept. To be in the world, but not of it, and be ultimately about our Father's business. And this is just so awesome. And this is, I just want to put this out there. It's 4/7. This is Easter weekend. This is Good Friday. And we're, so high energy, lots of spiritual energy right now, except, for us. And we just had a full moon yesterday in Libra. There's all sorts of really awesome. I think there was a solar eclipse, but anyway, I'm not trying to get into any of that stuff, but this is just such a great time. I want to leave it at this. I want to ponder on these things and let this sutra in particular, being that is so comprehensive, settle in, and we'll move on from there. Yeah, because this is just too good. I don't mean it like that, but I don't want to move too quickly past it. This is something we can spend much time setting on, and it being the 17th sutra. It's huge. Okay, we'll hit it up. Get back started again tomorrow. Yeah, have a good one.